If you are trying to buy a home north of Boston, there's something important that you need to know, and it's right here. A lot of buyers that you're competing with didn't move here from far away. They moved here from just a few towns over. And once you understand where they're coming from, the market suddenly makes a lot more sense. In this video, I'm going to show you where the buyers that you are competing with are actually moving from, why they're choosing areas north of Boston specifically, and how that information can help you make smarter decisions in your own search. Because the pressure you're feeling in certain towns isn't just random, and it's not just about price. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name's Michael. I've lived in the area for more than a decade and I've been in real estate for 13 years. I help people buy and sell and relocate throughout areas north of Boston, into Southern New Hampshire, and even into Maine. I spend a lot of time helping people understand what it's really like to live here before they decide to make a move here. So let's get into it. Number one, a big chunk of buyers are coming from Boston proper. One of the biggest drivers of demand north of Boston right now is people who already live in Boston. A significant share of Boston residents searching for homes are looking outside the city and often north because space, price, and lifestyle trade-offs inside the city have just become harder to justify. This usually includes people leaving Alston or Brighton or Dorchester, renters turning into first-time home buyers, and families who want yards and driveways and quieter streets. For a lot of these buyers, north of Boston feels like the closest place where life actually can get easier without feeling totally disconnected from the city that they probably love. Number two, many buyers are moving from closer in towns and they're not moving far away. And this one really surprises people. A lot of buyers landing in towns like Georgetown or Ipswich or Groveland or even Boxford or West Newbury are not coming from out of state. They're coming from Lynn and Melrose and Medford and often Somerville and even Cambridge. And the reason is simple: space. You reach a point where you want a yard instead of a patio. You want a driveway instead of fighting for street parking. And you want a home office instead of a corner of the living room. You're really looking for a quieter day-to-day routine. You already know Massachusetts and you love it here. You already understand the weather and the culture and the roads. You're just moving north to get a little more space to live. This quiet step-out migration drives a lot of competition in towns that kind of should feel like they should be off the radar, and they're not. If this kind of behind-the-scenes market insight is helpful, I'd really appreciate a like or a subscribe. We put out videos like this each week for people relocating or moving north in New England. All right, so let's get back to it. Number three, buyers are following public transportation corridors, not just distance. Another big pattern we see is buyers intentionally choosing towns with real public transportation options, not just proximity to Boston. Along the coast, the Newbury-Rockport commuter rail line continues to attract buyers in towns like Ipswich and Raleigh and Newburyport, where you still have a direct rail connection to North Station. And west of Andover, people are getting a little bit more creative. Towns like Westford don't have a station in town, yet residents often use nearby stations like North Billerica to maintain rail access to what they need. In the Merrimack Valley, communities such as Georgetown or Groveland or Amesbury and Haverhill, they benefit from regional bus systems that connect to those commuter rail hubs and local downtowns. The key takeaway is that you don't need to live right on top of a train station. A lot of buyers are pairing transit access with space and affordability, and that's shaping where demand shows up. Number four, buyers compare areas north of Boston directly with Southern New Hampshire. It happens all the time. We also see a steady flow of buyers comparing Massachusetts town directly with Southern New Hampshire. People looking at the border towns like Amesbury and Salisbury and Haverhill. They compare them with Salem, New Hampshire, and Windham and Londonderry and Atkinson. Sometimes they stay in Massachusetts, sometimes they cross the border. And even when they don't move to New Hampshire, that comparison influences demand and pricing on the Massachusetts side. Number five, buyers from outside of New England care a lot about Logan Airport. Another group shaping the market is buyers relocating from outside of New England altogether. They're coming from far away. For these buyers, Logan International Airport matters more than you might expect. Easy access to a major international airport is a big draw if you travel for work, have families spread out, or want to stay connected without living in the city. A lot of these buyers choose north of Boston because they can still get to Logan relatively easily without paying city-level housing prices. Towns like Beverly and Danvers and Peabody and other North Shore communities strike that balance, connected to the world, yet more livable day to day. So what's the real takeaway here? Most buyers coming north of Boston aren't strangers to Massachusetts. That's the surprising thing. They're moving out of Boston, they're stepping outward from towns like Lynn and Melrose and Medford, they're following transit corridors for flexibility, and they're comparing Massachusetts with Southern New Hampshire. or they're relocating from outside of Boston altogether. Once you understand who you're competing with and what problem they're trying to solve, the market makes so much more sense. You really can start to understand it. And this is exactly why understanding migration patterns matters just as much as understanding price. When you know where buyers are coming from, you can make much smarter, well-informed decisions about the areas where to focus your search and how to be competitive when you really want to be. Hey, are you thinking about relocating north of Boston or into Southern New Hampshire? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers, the best hospitals, and a boatload of other things that you need to know before you're making a move. The best part about it is that it's completely free, like everything that I do here. Just click on the link in the description or the top pinned comment. I hope that helps.